high tide coming up in about 55 minutes there, Beth.
David, we are in the thick of it here in Scituate with these winds, the sustained winds, the snow, and that impending high tide. And they are dealing with a lot of challenges, as you can well imagine, in the town right now. We spoke with the town administrator and the police chief just a little while ago. Communications are down. All the business lines are down at the police department. They have radio communication. Residents can call 911, but those calls have to be rerouted before they get to the police station. They are trying to respond as best they can. Already, the roads down along the point are a concern. They're already filling in an hour before high tide. They are at the ready to bring people out, but the police chief is still urging people that if they can, to leave on their own. If they do need help, they should call 911, and they will respond as quickly as they can. The police chief tells me they've already had to bring 4 people out, and of course this was the concern all along. We're also dealing with the snow, ice, there's sand all mixed in. It's like the consistency of concrete. That is affecting the power lines here. The power lines are down. The town is completely without power, and they're not expecting it to be restored for perhaps as many as 5 days. So when we woke up this morning, it was quite a scene this morning. A hard, cold reality by morning in Scituate. By the ocean, the wind stronger and sustained, and Dennis Crary spent a cold night in the dark.
I was up on the 3rd floor, and it was like being on a boat. I almost got seasick.
Were you worried last night about the house?
I was. I was really considering maybe I should have left, but I'm here now, so that's my own fault.
Downed wires a problem, some laying over snow-covered streets, and some taking trees with them. The visibility making it tough for plow drivers, tackling the roads and parking lots. What's the visibility like?
Terrible. It's awful. You can't see not more than a quarter of a mile in front of you. It's terrible. You
worried about the wires and the trees?
Wires and trees down, broken poles, just about everything in this town right now.
These winds this morning are now much more sustained, not the gusts that we saw last night. And when you've got the wind and you've got sand and ice, you've got rock solid consistency that everyone is trying to deal with this morning. The town is encased in ice, everything whipped up by the winds, making it a frosty morning throughout the seemingly deserted town. Ed Leary just getting started after a night cold.
It's all powder on top and it's rock solid on the bottom. I don't think, I've got a snowblower I was going to dig out. I don't think the snowblower will be able to move it. And this is pretty much what they expected and tried to prepare for. The snow, of course, is an added ingredient. Often with these coastal storms, they're just dealing with wind and rain. But now they're dealing with this heavy snow. And the police chief tells me that 10 o'clock tide last night, they originally weren't so concerned about it, but the winds were much more sustained than they expected. That tide did not go out very much last night, and that is the problem this morning, that wall of water just coming in. So they are down on the point trying to deal with that right now. The travel ban remains in effect, of course, and they are glad for that. That will hopefully keep people off the roads, keep people in their homes and safe. But of course, some dark, cold days ahead here as they deal with these power outages. Just a lot of challenges here in Scituate and many hours before we're out of the woods here. Reporting live from Scituate, I'm Beth Germano, WBZ News. Back to you.
Welcome back to Action News Saturday morning as we covered this nor'easter. Sky 6 HD taking a live look at Philadelphia International Airport. It is pretty quiet out there. We are, of course, not experiencing so much of this nor'easter like everyone else. In the Boston area, they have gotten about 2 feet of snow, and it is packing hurricane-force winds there. But here, the roads are certainly slippery. Travel conditions impacted because of these situations all along the eastern seaboard, so you will want to call ahead if you have a flight today. And once again, New England is still being battered by the brunt of this great nor'easter. Boston could get 2 to 3 feet of snow. 27.6 inches in 2003 is the city's record. 650,000 people in New England have lost power.
In fact, non-essential traffic is banned from all roads in Massachusetts for the first time since the Great Storm of 1978. Getting around by plane or train is all but impossible as well. Lots of cancellations and strong winds also adding to the misery, and we can attest to that driving in the really strong winds this morning.
That's right, and it's certainly slippery. In New York City, could get pelted by a foot of snow. Hundreds of vehicles are reportedly stranded on the Long Island Expressway outside of the Big Apple. Police are moving them to safety.
very crazy. 2 snow blowers and my truck is dead too. Hey, look at me, I'm freezing.
Salted is Connecticut's first choice when it comes to all of the home services you rely on most. From electrical, plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, Salted is the one to call. Did you know that?
We've had about 20 inches of snow here in Port Jefferson, and to give you an idea of how deep it is, I'm going to step into the snow, and you can see how far down I go into this mess. The big dig here has begun, but according to one plow driver, this one could take a couple of days. We've spoken to a number of plow drivers who've been out and about this morning, and they paint an alarming picture of Suffolk County's roadways, describing hundreds of cars stranded, some with people inside. Now, the county executive of Suffolk told us earlier this morning there have been no injuries, but the presence of those cars on the roads is making it difficult for the plows to do their job and to clean the streets of the snow that's piled up. Right now, the Long Island Expressway, Sunrise Highway, and every other major parkway on Long Island has been shut down until further notice. It seems obvious, but the advice for this morning and the rest of today, stay home, don't drive if you don't have to. We're in Port Jefferson. Greg Sergel, Today in New York.